1621 West Lake Street. Use of variance. Becca, could you give us the facts?
The petitioner has requested a use variance to allow the sale of sheds within a C2 commercial district. The parcel is located at 1661 West Lake Street and is surrounded by other C2 commercial district as well as county residential. The surrounding context includes a nearby gas station, fast food franchise, and storage units. This lot is currently vacant and has been for over a decade. Pending an architect's guidance, the petitioner will either remove or remodel the existing structure. Given the surrounding context and history of the vacant lot, the planning department suggests the board view this request favorably when delineated with the findings of facts.
Thank you. Before we open it to the public, are there any questions, comments?
Were there any calls or letters?
Letters or any calls? I don't think so on this one, were there?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. All right. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak in favor of this petition? Going once. You?
Yes.
We're gonna drag you up front, get your name.
You'll speak in
No
the microphone.
fingerprinting, but at least your name.
So I'm new to all this, so you might have to walk me through it. But my name is Ellis Zimmerman, and my wife and I own those lots that we bought over there. There's one on the west side and one on the east side of town, I believe. And we would like the opportunity to be able to sell portable sheds on those lots if we could.
All right, thank you, sir. Is there anyone else in favor? Anyone in opposition?
I don't know if it's opposition, we have some questions and concerns.
Well, concerns work. Why don't you come on up and share them with us?
So my name is Curtis Stavedall. This is my wife Andrea. We purchased 1621 West Lake Street last summer. And we have a total of 3 renters on our property, 2 in the main building, 1 in the shed. Some of our questions really is relevant to the obscurity of what it would do to the other businesses next to us, next to that property, including ours.
Are you operating a business on that site?
She is.
And what is it?
Bentley Antiques.
The other one is a financial planner, and the other one is a esthetician, which is skincare, a little bit of hair trimming. I don't know if she's got other people.
Mini spa.
Mini spa by appointment, I guess you would say.
Have you discussed this with them?
They, not really, to be honest with you.
Did they raise anything with the city?
No.
Okay.
No. So really,
I don't think they were notified.
I
Just
don't,
us
yeah,
as
we were just the ones notified.
Landowners.
Yeah,
That's fine. I
yeah,
just
yeah.
wondered.
So really, our questions are how many sheds are going to be put on there? Where the shed's going to be allowed to be placed on the property? The maximum distance?
Let's take them one at a time.
Okay.
What are the city rules on that? They've got to be back how many feet?
I believe it's 10.
10 feet off the street line?
Yes, but let me double check.
Any heights? Height restrictions?
Between 3 and no lower than 3 feet.
No lower than 3 feet?
How-
And how high?
How tall?
I don't know that our ordinance
Covers
calls
that?
that out.
Okay. They're not airways, so it's,
Let's see. Horizontally 10 feet from the travel surface of a street or 3 feet of the travel surface of an alley, and vertically between 3 and 8 feet high.
there's a restriction.
3 and
So-
8.
So my question then is with the right-of-way, it's about 12 to 15 feet.
I'd say it's more like 15, 18 maybe.
So from the right-of-way, how close can the shed be?
It just calls out from the travel surface. So as long as it's on their property at that point, if it's 10 feet from the travel surface.
Yeah, I don't think a right-of-way would come into play. Other structures would come into play, but not a right-of-way.
Well, what is that, grass? Isn't that the right-of-way?
Is a
Well,
right-of-way,
for the
is it covered or
sign,
is
for
it?
us to put a sign up, we have to be away from the road with that right-of-way, and then it can only be 8 feet tall. So when we pay, $5,000 to $8,000 for our sign, is it going to be blocked by sheds?
I mean, we were coming in today, let me back up. If you head west, if you're heading west, our property is pretty much obscured by Boggs Automotive until you're about 10 to 15 feet from our entrance, because our entrance is actually on the east side of our property. Now, if we've got a bunch of sheds now gonna be put on the east side, east side, I'm sorry, I got my directions written. But if you get on the west side, coming into town tonight, we notice that even if they're, halfway up to their property, our whole building is obscured again. And again, you got sheds that are 8 foot high, and now we can't have a sign more than 8 foot high when all of our other
Yeah.
neighbors have like these huge
10
tall signs.
Time out.
Now we have a building that is completely obscured, and we have a hard time having people find our building the way it is. Now we're hidden. So that's our only concern.
That's a legitimate concern. I don't know if I can do anything about it at the board level here, but
Okay, so with the right-of-way, what can people put in it? Anything?
Nothing.
Even though there are things in the right-of-way now?
No signs are permitted to be within the right of way.
What about a car?
A stopped car, if there's not a parking spot, should not be in the right of way.
that's not a zoning issue.
Okay, okay, yeah,
Okay. I don't have any.
yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know, other than to say that's a legitimate concern, that
Yeah,
what we can do about the restraint on the property.
okay, well, with the building sign though, so how do we go about that with timeout in? Theirs is like 20 feet high. Subway is above the 8-foot mark. And then
Well,
we have
we
the
could
gas
suggest you
station
could
too.
bring it in front of the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Where's that building
That's us.
Okay.
they're referring to?
Okay. That's
I
fine.
think you might have a legitimate one there.
Oh, yeah, no, and our sign guy said that he couldn't even approach you, so I don't know, like, what all that's about.
With that being said, I do want to say, we're happy that someone bought the
Yeah,
property.
very.
We're hoping that does help bring some.
Yeah, bring some
we're
business
just-
by.
Yeah.
We're just concerned of the security.
No, those are all legitimate business owner concerns, and I think, like I said, I'd let things get settled in a little bit and then see what you need to do, and
Sure.
you can bring it before the board.
Yep, very good, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else, either for or against? Closed to the public. I don't see too many issues with this one, other than it seems to be a good idea to put something on that lot for 10 years or better empty. Okay. With that,
With that, I'm going to make a motion that we go ahead and approve case number 2022-0501.
so moved, seconded,
Second.
and all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone in opposition? Thank you, Tammy. That passes unanimously, sir. You're set. You're gonna have to get a new picture. Second item before the board, a petition to move, I'm sorry, it's 0502-2022, and the address is 2421 East Center Street. Becca.
The petitioner has requested a use variance to allow the sale of sheds within a C3 commercial district. The parcel is located at 2421 East Center Street on the corner of Argonne Road and Center Street. The property is surrounded by other C2 and C3 commercial districts. This intersection is highly trafficked and requires unimpeded visibility for traffic safety. This property abuts the East Market Street neighborhood plan and is depicted as needing sidewalk enhancement to establish safe travel for schools, parks, and recreation. Part of the East Market Street neighborhood plan is to stabilize the residential aspects and character of the area and to stop the advancement of commercial and industrial uses that decrease the neighborhood character and quality of life. Within the plan, the businesses along Center Street are suggested to be low-intensity uses to maintain residential character and scale. Moreover, Argonne Road is a critical gateway to Winona Lake, and the East Market Street neighborhood plan suggests that commercial areas along the Argonne Road corridor evolve to be more residentially friendly in design and context to create a higher neighborhood vitality. The sales of sheds at this location would obstruct visibility at a highly trafficked intersection and create a more industrial context. Due to the location of the parcel abutting the East Market Street neighborhood plan and the desire for a more residentially designed area, the planning department suggests the board deny this request when delineated with the findings of facts.
Thank you. And there was a letter submitted?
Yes.
Okay. Before we open it to the public, are any comments or questions?
Yeah, I have a question for you, Becca,
Yeah.
Rebecca. You make your finding, on the recommendations, you just appear to just list the recommendations that we are to follow, it will not be interested in public health. Which of those criteria does the city feel is being impinged upon with this request?
I think for public health and traffic safety reasons, having sheds there would reduce the visibility and could create hazards at that intersection.
Okay, so number one, the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare, okay. Okay, I just don't
And I
understand
assume
the basics.
traffic's looked at this? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions before we open it to
Restate
the
that,
public?
Tom. What'd you say about traffic?
The traffic commission.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's had
Okay.
a long day.
I would assume, Justin, the traffic has looked at this, to be perfectly clear.
I don't know about the commission, unless I missed that one, but I think there's a significant argument with the comprehensive plan that Becca mentioned to be had if there's any practical difficulty in using that parcel in its intended fashion for commercial purposes that complement the corridor. So I don't think.
Well, I know we talked a lot about Argonne, but I think your other traffic issue is Parker as well. I mean, that's a very busy intersection.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that, anything that would impinge egress and visibility would be not, I don't think, healthy. All right, is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak in favor of this? Same person, huh? You're one for one.
Yeah. I feel.
You don't feel as good about this one?
I'm not, this is not my normal day-to-day operations. So you guys are more at home than I am in here. But basically, I would just, put a request in if we would keep them back further, if you would consider
It's
that.
not a very big lot, though. How many sheds would you put up there?
I'm just saying, if we keep them farther back, if visibility is an issue, is that something, can I just ask a question here? Is that something you consider putting housing in, or what was the city's plan with that if it would go back to the city?
That's a good question and a tough one to answer, because usually once we give permission, it's hard to claw anything back. And if you get two sheds in and the buyer doesn't show up for the third one, you're running out of space.
Yeah.
You're gonna block that intersection visibility-wise. So I don't know how to, our counselor isn't here today, and I don't think we can restrict that, can we, Justin? I don't think we can put any limitations on that, other than the 10 feet back, which everybody has to do.
I have a question for you. Have you purchased these, or did you purchase them contingent upon approval by the BZA?
We did buy them,
You've already bought them?
right?
Okay.
So, it's not that we could show you examples of how we set up lots and stuff like that if you need that, but.
I'm assuming you're
we-
talking about a storage shed that everybody puts on their lot.
Right,
Those things
right.
are about 8-9 feet tall most of the time, aren't they?
Right.
And you've got at least a 10 by 10 is gonna be towards the small side.
They're anywhere from 6
If you
by
put, how big is that lot? You got walkways in it and
I'm gonna make
Jack, what's the
5 or
lot
6 sheds, you filled the
size? You
place.
still have that photo? What's the lot size on this one? I didn't look this morning.
Obviously, we're looking to bring business into your guys' area too, as far
On the
as.
second
Oh, I'd like it to be used.
Right.
It's just,
Oh, you don't have Beacon pulled
the
up.
former
That's what
facility
it
was
should-
not very big. That was
Beacon.
about a 20 by 10.
Well, and I didn't bring my phone in to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, Tammy?
Yeah.
It does not have the acreage on
Okay.
Beacon.
Okay.
Do you need a lot size? Is that what you're looking for?
What size is
I
that?
don't have it with me. I can look it up if you need me to.
The concern I've got is that, for you to have a business, and you're probably gonna need a place to put a typewriter or something in there.
Well, we won't man that one. The one on the west side, it would be.
So you're only gonna put a few up for display
Right,
there?
exactly.
I guess my concern is the only experience I have, something comparable, is the one out there by Jurgen Voss's, where they had sheds and whatnot, and that, they spread them out, and, you know, they covered a lot of territory, and, you know, it's a pretty big spread. I don't know that you necessarily copy that, but if you're trying to have inventory showing that compares to that, that seems to me it takes a fair amount of space to compete with. Have you ever seen that one out by,
Is that the U-Haul dealer there?
well, it's the old 30 that they were, I don't even know if they're still doing it, they were selling sheds out there.
I go by there all the time, that's why.
These
Talking about where the new
fancy
roundabout
swing
is out that way?
I think there are some sheds there, to the south of Jurgen's business, aren't they? Or
Yeah,
did
I don't
they
think
come-
it's off the road, though. There's-
Yeah, it's off the
right there
road.
where that laundromat is.
Yeah,
And that
and
little,
it's back off the road.
But my point is,
yeah, I
they're
don't-
off the road, but he had a big lot, and there's a fair
Yep.
amount of inventory there,
Yeah.
they covered a lot of space.
Yes.
And if he's trying to compete with that in terms of showing, I just think it takes more room than that particular
Well,
corner.
and the hard part is as we've been down these roads, once the approval is made, I don't think we can restrict anything other than
No.
is the lot line is at 10 feet? They can't get any closer than 10 to both Parker and Center?
Center?
And if you put enough sheds on there, they'll be out of luck for parking spots. I don't know.
Well, I think that's a difficult, there's a light there, but I think it's still tough to see around that corner if there's something there too, there's a lot of traffic.
Yeah, and it's not a square.
No.
No,
it
it's
isn't.
not.
You know, you've got an S curve coming into it and,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you got other options for this lot, or you were just helping?
Not really. We bought these lots around, we're from Ohio and we bought them around home there. And if it was zone commercial, it was never an issue, so I didn't realize it was gonna be an issue, you know, with these. So it was kind of a surprise.
So you weren't here when Dunkin' Donuts started then?
Whoa.
You know what we were talking about if
No,
you've
I
been
don't.
here at that time.
let's just throw Dunkin' Donuts under the bus, yeah.
What's that?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else in favor? Anyone in opposition? Closed to the public. You know, that is a terrible, that intersection has been lousy since it started.
Well, at both ends.
Yeah, I mean, and then they widened out Argonne and they put the curve there because they put
Yep.
the,
Yeah, well, it was kind of a curse up at the other end, you know,
Right.
and ours and all that too, and so it's just kind of a main artery for traffic.
and then you've got a dead building on the opposite side and that goes into something. Oh, boy.
I just always thought it was a dangerous intersection.
It is.
I hate to see the view
Well, I was
obstructed.
gonna say, the smoke place that was there, didn't that get put out of business because someone ran their car into it?
Yeah.
The building.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess there were mitigating circumstances to that
Yeah,
accident, but still.
absolutely.
No.
Well, and I'm just, you know, we do have
An objection.
an
Yeah.
objection.
I'm gonna make a motion, we deny this request.
I'm gonna second it right there with you. I just think it's a bad location.
Yeah, I think it is.
I just,
We have a motion, it's been seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Sorry, sir.
sorry, sir.
Next order of business. Is there any other matters that come before the board?
If there are none, sir, I have moved to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion to adjourn, seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone in opposition of adjourning? It's never happened yet.
Never happened yet.
Thank you all, our meeting is
Thank you.
adjourned. He does know we can, right? Hello.